If you've been on the internet for the past couple months, you've probably seen or heard of this thing. This is The Boiled One, the main focus of the Boiled One phenomenon video by a guy named Dr. Nowhere. Now, this video blew up, and it's not hard to see why. The video is genuinely a really good piece of internet horror, creating this new being and showcasing it in such a creepy way, creating some of the most frightening imagery I've seen in a while. Now, as popular as it is to go in-depth about the story surrounding The Boiled One, see, look, even they got a film theory made out of them. That's how you know you've made it. I want to draw more attention to the design of the Boiled One. It's surprisingly pretty simple. A tall black figure with a deep, red, deformed humanoid face. The design invades your mind, and suddenly, the Boiled One could be behind every door, under every bed, and any space of darkness in your room. It hits almost the same points that the Slender Man does.
It's Slenderman!
Something that looks human, but isn't. This sense of uneasiness is called the uncanny valley. Almost every human experiences it, so using it in horror is of course a guarantee. If you're a terminally online zoomer like me, your first experiences with this feeling would probably be from these type of videos. Dr. Nowhere seems to excel at these kinds of monster designs, spindly dudes that just radiate a feeling of uneasiness. Taking a look at his Instagram, you could see a wide selection of these types of creatures, or this video of him speed drawing a guy named Sunman. A nice addition to the group of Slender Man, Chainsaw Man, and of course,
Brain Man.
Now, I'm telling you all those to introduce to you my hyperfixation of the week, the videos that came before The Boiled One. The video is about a being that you've seen, but probably don't know. I want to introduce you guys to... If you go to Dr. Nowhere's channel, you'll see all the videos about the Locust are named Concept TOE 1-3, standing for the Orgonate Enterprise, the assumed name of the series that Dr. Nowhere was developing. Okay, Dr. Nowhere is pretty long to say, I'll just call him Doc from now on. It's changed due to Doc's decision to remake the series differently and slightly redesigning the Locust. Does this mean the video that I'm making means nothing? Anyway, the original video titles were Starving.Help, Love.Thumper, and Making.Friends. These videos are very short, so I highly recommend you go to the Doc's channel, which I'll link in the description, and watch these yourself. He deserves all of the attention for all this effort, and with that, let's get into the first video. You've definitely seen this video, or at least a way shorter version of it posted on places like Instagram or Twitter, and while it's pretty much used as a meme, I mean, it was kind of created as a meme, let's take a closer look. This thing is known as the Locust, or the Thumper. It has such a creepy design. Its body is entirely black and slender. It looks like a bunch of wires tangled together. Its face more like a broken, deformed mask than an actual flesh and blood being. Is this thing organic, or maybe some sort of robot? The hand hitting the screen is in a different style than the rest of the Locust, like an actual live-action arm. And to give you a bit of a hint, that arm doesn't belong to the Locust. The sound that this thing is making sounds like grunting or moaning sounds. This video spawns so many questions and theories, and it's not even a minute long. But you know what's better than a video that's less than a minute long? A video that's a minute and a half long.
Hello? What do you want? What do you want? Please go away. Please go away. Go.
Now, as you've just seen, this is the first time we're seeing an outsider's point of view of the locust through a TV screen. We also get a full view of the top half of the locust. Its arms look more like giant pincers or spears, making it look even more terrifying. There's a movie called Tokyo Gore Police, and while I can't show anything from that movie, there's a dude with katanas for limbs that kinda reminds me of this. It also confirms that the arm in the first video doesn't belong to the locust. The person recording the video tries to communicate with it, asking what it wants and to go away, and the locust just seems to say hello back. Or at least that's what it sounds like at first. Some people in the comments point out that it sounds like the locust is saying, "I am hungry." After the locust breaks through the TV, we get a sequence showing the cameraman hiding as the locust seems to stalk him. It eventually finds him, and while we can infer that it attacks him, during this part we get an almost full view of the locust, and yep, that's kinda what I thought it looked like. What scares me the most about this is how it moves. It's just so fast, and combined with the janky animation style, it's like the perfect combination of things to freak me out. Moving on to the sounds of the video, when it cuts halfway, we get the sound of a heart beating rapidly. This is usually meant to trigger anxiety in the viewers, and it works. But what I really love about this is the music that plays when the locust charges. It's not a big scary noise to make you jump like a lot of videos. It's honestly pretty goofy music. I didn't know the locust was making bangers in FL Studio. But it works. It's so much more unnerving and surreal, and someone pointed out in the comments, it's an anti-jump scare. And the video ends with the room that the locust escaped from with the text, "The body appeared untouched," and a laugh track.
Bazinga!
Why? We'll get to that point in a bit, but I just want to point out that this series is less analog horror and more digital horror. Instead of something like the 80s, this feels like something you'd watch on YouTube in the early 2000s or 2010s, and looking in the description, it makes sense. This says 3/13/2005, courtesy of the Orgonate Enterprise. Besides being set 5 months and a couple days from the birth of yours truly, this shows that it's set during the 2000s, and the footage is being held by this Enterprise. Oh shit, that's the bonus video alarm! In between the release of the first and second videos, the doc blessed us with this little treat titled,
Has this ever happened to you?
Has this ever happened to you? It's getting dark outside. You are getting ready for bed, grabbing a cold glass of water, and now you are turning off all the lights in the house. Do you feel that? Or maybe hear that? That sinking feeling that something is following you as soon as you turn off the lights? Well, worry not. We have a brilliant solution. There is nothing that follows you after you turn off all the lights in the house. All the lights in the house. You turn off all the lights in the house. That follows you after you turn off all the lights in the house.
You know, I used to be scared whenever I turned on the lights off, but thank God this guy got me. On to video 3, it's the longest of the videos, so while I will play some parts of it, I won't show it all. Again, please go to Dr. Nowhere's channel to see the full thing. The video begins with what looks like a children's program, albeit not the best of quality. Text appears saying, "Time to rise and shine, good children play pretend, good children do not play with their food until it's all gone, and good children make friends." The video then cuts to a site called Pen Palace. It looks like an early internet messaging site like AOL. The person behind the computer then starts a chat with a friend named Dominic9999. And now I'll show you the rest of the video. Going back to the chats, it's pretty clear that Dominic is actually the locust trying to communicate. We know this because of the stilted language it uses when trying to talk to our protagonist, as well as following the word.word style format that was the same in the early video titles. We're also told that these are two people that are just online friends and haven't met IRL, so this gives the protagonist reason as to not be more urgent to Dominic's disappearance. The locust seems to really want to be friends with our writer, begging them to do a video chat. The locust is trying to get them to accept the video chat so it can break through their screen and give them the Dominic treatment, which it succeeds in doing. But why is there a giant beating heart? What does the ending text mean? I'll try to answer that as much as I can, but first, let's try to build a timeline. I think the second video is Dominic. He's the first victim we see of the locust, who likely either kills or kidnaps him. And the arm we see in the first video belongs to him, banging on the screen for help. The locust then disguises itself as Dominic to lure in new victims, as seen in the third video. Now, what really stumps me is what exactly the locust does. We never see what happens to people found by it, just very vague hints. A lead theory is that it sucks out its victims' organs out, or at least collects them, explaining the severed heart and the line, "everything inside was gone." But the biggest question surrounding the series is, what the hell is this thing? A theory that a lot of viewers support is the idea that the locust is a kid, or at least trying to be a kid. We're shown the locust seemingly imitating human speech and mannerisms. The children's show imagery helps his theory. Whether or not it's a genuine kid or just using it as a front to attract victims is unknown. And speaking of unknown, I want to share my theory on what the locust possibly is. I believe that the locust is a malevolent being that's trying to disguise itself as a childlike humanoid. Looking at the design, this black substance around his body is what I believe to be its actual self, and the face is probably stolen by the locust to look more human. Remember how I said that the doc was planning on remaking the series? Well, not too long ago he posted the locust's new and improved look. As we can see, it definitely looks more mechanical. It kinda looks like it's wearing armor. However, notice the black areas are still there. This new design, to me at least, seems like the locust is assembling a new body, looking more humanoid, like an even creepier mannequin. Whether or not it's actual flesh or wires of some sort is unknown. And speaking of unknown, if you don't have any friends, then you're definitely familiar with the game Dead by Daylight, and by proxy, The Unknown. The Unknown is a mysterious being that mimics people in order to lure in victims. The appearance it takes is very highly agreed to be the skin of a past victim the Unknown uses as a disguise. Its true form is seen in its Mori animation when it opens up and kills the survivor. I think this is almost exactly what the locust is trying to do, disguise itself as a somewhat humanoid with childlike mannerisms to invade people through their screens and presumably feed on them. Hearing all this, could I be wrong? Yeah, probably. This is all from a series that's around 5 minutes long in its entirety, and it's about to be remade anyways, so what's the point in all this? Well, I just really wanted to show a series that I think is really good by a creator that has such a bright future ahead of them. They recently released the Oddity Compendium, and it is really good, and I'm very excited to see what the doc does going forward. Another reason is that I believe the attention that digital and internet horror has gotten as a whole has been pretty negative recently, and it's not for no reason. There are a lot of problems with the genre and its creators. But seeing people like Dr. Nowhere and series like this and something like Morley Grove, Chainmail Chasers, and Lacey's Games, I really feel like we're about to enter another golden age for internet horror. Just as 2019 through 2022 was the golden age for analog horror, maybe the next couple of years will be a golden age for digital horror. Oh, hey, it's the end of the video. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. I know this is a very different subject matter from my last videos, and that's because I'm really trying to figure out what I want to talk about on this channel and what you guys want. I'm just very passionate about this stuff, and I really love sharing it with people. And since I don't have a lot of people to share it with IRL, I might as well do it here. Please, if you liked what you saw, like and subscribe to see more. Go check out Dr. Nowhere's channel and give him all the attention. If you have any criticisms or recommendations for future videos, put it in the comments so I can ignore them. And yeah, later losers.